Right, thought I'd do like a little update on the HYBIRD. And as you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, am I happy with it? Well, not really. Yeah, you can say, well, hang on a minute, Steve. Like you're saying that you was happy with it the other day. Well, the other day when I was using it, even today, I couldn't get a lot of this done today because it's still leaving scratches because the pads I was using, the compatible ones are completely shit. The compound, I'm not too sure about it still at the moment. All I've used already half a bottle of it. It looks like some of the discs were coming out pretty good, all right. Even before the original pads and compound ran out, the discs looked like they was coming out pretty good. With the sunlight gleaming on them, and my spotlight was like showing that they looked really good. Well, under a light, my bedroom light, for instance, it's not that brilliant. But I thought I'd just check on some discs, which I've done today. And some of them looked pretty good, although they was being used on the compatible compound and pads. I know I put a few in, 2 or 3 times, to try to get the scratches out. And it looked like, even with the shitty compatible ones, they were coming out okay. But the ones that I done kind of like during last week with the original pads and the original compound, they looked like they was coming out, like mint, well, not mint, but like very good condition. Now, the 2 bottles of compound and the 6 pads that came with the machine, and yet I had problems with the damn thing for the first 3 days. And when I did get it to work properly, the pads ran out. So I had to get the compatible ones, and the compatible ones weren't really doing the job. Then suddenly the compound ran out. Like I'd already bought some compatible compound, I thought, it should still do the job, but nope. Right, that bundle of discs, all right, probably about 100 there. That small bundle, probably about 50 there. And there's probably about 200 discs in there. All right. Now, I'm not gone through every single one, but every time I pull out a disc, doesn't matter what one it is, like Tomb Raider, I can pull it out, look under the light, and see scratches on it. Now, these ones were done with the machine with the original compound and the original pads. Pull another one out. Halo Wars. Swirl marks. Lego Indiana Jones. Scratches. That one has got like a few mini like dots on it, but they ain't really got many scratches on it. And that's a shitty Just Dance one. Darksiders 2. Scratches. Now all these I ran through with the original compound and original pads. scratches on both discs. Halo 4. SimCity Creator Wii game. Scratches around the corners. Well, scratches everywhere actually. Let's go on to this one. These are the dark discs, black discs. And you can see scratches around them. Max Payne. Scratches around the corners, around the edges, around there. GTA. Scratches all over the place. Now these were done on that fucking machine. Am I happy with the machine? No, not really. Swirl marks and scratches on the black disc. Spec Ops. Just Cause. It's not as bad, but it's got like little specks of like fine scratches on it. Don't know what this game's called. But scratches all over the place. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Xbox. A few minor scratches. There's one up there. But these discs, the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox One and the Xbox X can be very difficult to clean. And I think it's very difficult. This one ain't too bad, just a few little minor nicks there. And that's Popstar. Black one, swirls and scratches. Grand Theft Auto 4. There's a few scratches there, but not major ones. You see like some longer ones there, but they're fine. They're not like deep ones. You know, deep. Blue disc. Load of swirls on it. Fucking shitload of swirls. Terrani, or whatever it's bloody called. Swirls all the way around the disc. Formula 1 2010. It's got a couple of minor ones, but not that bad. And this is a PlayStation 3 one. See, by looking on the video, on some videos, and even on eBay, see this one, disc 1, looks okay, but disc 2, it's got a lot of like speckles and crap up there. Just someone's like sneezing, shot with their bogies over it, kind of thing. Let's have a look at this one. Fear. Yep, scratches everywhere. Now, I did do these ones, which I got through eBay the other day. I've got 2 copies. You can see different covers. And also the disc is different as well. Now, I'll put that through. And that disc has come out really good. I can't really see any scratches on it. And then the other copy, Again, that one come out really good. And these both had scratches on them when I got them. So I don't know what the fuck's going on, because I'm trying my hardest to get these games clean. See, that one's got like a bit of a ring around it, but it's not that bad. Another Resident Evil one from this collection. Let's have a look at just a couple more. W2K15. Can't really see any scratches, but it has got a lot of like those speckled things on it. I think I already checked this one. Yeah, it's got swirly scratches on. So, let's check these couples. Well, Heat lead. That one's got a lot of fingerprints on, so I don't think I actually used the cloth. The cloth I usually use, I've just gone and rinsed it in the bathroom. But using that blue compound, it's got on the disc. It's got on the fibre cloth, and it doesn't want to come out. And I just tried washing it. Let's see, fear. No, it scratches and specks and fuck knows what else. So although people are saying, oh, you know, I've got that machine's really good, you know, it's a wicked machine. Just try looking at your games under different types of light. So although I've just put a nasty fingerprint on that one, and I've rubbed it a bit too hard, that's now got scratches on, because I ain't got a decent enough fucking cloth. See, some of these fibre cloths do leave scratches, and I've just left scratches on Metroid Prime Corruption, and that disc is, I think, worth a little bit of money. I'm not sure. So look. I don't know if we'll pick it up on this one. No, we didn't. I'll type it in. Metron. Prime. I don't know if I can read it. Let's just put we. Yeah, come up. I think it's that one. Yeah, that's the one. Well, it's only like a £5 game. It used to be a lot more than that. £3 trading. I wouldn't be able to trade any of these in, because like CEX does get a bit temperamental on the condition of the discs. See, to me that one looks okay, but if you kind of like get the light on it just right, you can see a lot of specks around it. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, because I can't really use that machine, I'll see if I can buff some of these out with the JFJ, because this one it's also got specs on it, because the machine ain't actually cutting down the layer enough, and it's leaving shit on the disc. I don't think I've even done that disc. I'm pretty sure I did crazy flop though. Yeah, see that one looks okay, but if you kind of like tilt it into light, you can see scratches on there. It depends, like, you know, it depends on how deep the scratches are. That's why I bought the machine, to kind of rid of a lot of the deep scratches, but the machine ain't actually getting rid of every single scratch. I'm not saying every machine out there, even like the £108,000 one, which they sell, I don't even think that would probably get rid of all the scratches. They are meant to give you like a mirror effect, but getting the mirror effect, see, this is a shitty fever game, yeah, a crappy football game. If I do it that way, I can't see the scratches, but if I bring it up to the light and just tilt it a little bit, I can see some really like light scratches. Like a lot of these games have got light scratches on them still, and you're not going to get a lot of the scratches out, especially like, you know, this one here looks pretty good condition. It looks, although it's not mirror effect, it does still have some like little specks on it. And paying the money that I pay for this machine, all right, it's a Recon refurbished one, so that one ain't too bad either. But if you put your light up to it, you can see like kind of little fine scratches going around that way. So even if I pay that full amount for the actual machine, I don't think you could get every single scratch out. So this one looks pretty damn nice, this disc. Apart from one little minor scratch on the corner there. No, it makes me laugh, like, you know, people say, like, oh, I just bought this machine, like, you know, with the Echo Pro, for instance, yeah. People have bought it and swear that, you know, their discs look mint. I'm going to call bullshit on that. Because this machine is supposed to be better than the Echo Pro, although the Echo Pro is still expensive. So that's got scratches and shit around this area. So what it is it's doing, I think, most of the disc, but not all of the disc. Yeah, that's bad. That's got like scratches all the way around. So what I've got to do, I'm not going to use it tomorrow, Monday. So I haven't got, you know, all I've got the compatible compound and the pads. Those pads are shit. No, they are very shit. They're soft, very soft. They're not like, let me get them. Oh, shit. If you compare the original to the compatible, that's a compatible and that's the original, this one here. Why is it that my camera's like the opposite way around? That's a bit weird. Right, so that's that's weird. Like my left hand or my right hand looks like it's the left hand, and my left hand looks like it's right hand. Weird. This, if you press down on that, yeah, you can see, you know, that goes in quite easy. But with this one, it hasn't got that much of a bounce to it, you know, like this one has. If you was to get a coin and drop it on, I'll guarantee you this one would make the coin bounce more, probably. And I'm not going to get a coin out because I can't be bothered, and I ain't going to fucking demonstrate that anyway. But yeah, this one has more of a solid feel to it, and the pad is here, which is supposed to be kind of a whitish pink. You can feel the difference on the grit to this one. This one feels like kind of more of a grit than that one's got. So I think what it is, that although they are compatible and they are the same sizes, the original is supposed to do a better job than these ones, because the guy I bought these from, you know, he was good enough to send me replacement ones because they'd got delayed or lost in the post, the original 6-pack, 6 pairs. I ordered a bottle of the blue compound off him, being this blue, and with this you get 6 pairs of these. But he also sells 6 pairs of these separately. So I ordered 6 pairs of these and they never turned up. And I told him about it, and he goes, right, you know, can you send out another 6 pairs? And he said he would do it. Well, before he'd done it, I actually ordered a bottle of that, because that comes with 6 pairs of these. So that would have made 12 pairs, which I got off that one guy. Now, the bottle of that and 6 pairs of these is £44. These by themselves, I can't even remember how much these were, but I can check anyway. Purchase. So, well, you can buy these in single pairs at $6.99. I think it's $6.99 per pack, per pair. £6.50 free postage. But I bought 6 pairs originally off him, which was £34. All right, so £34 for that, and then $44.99 with a bottle of compound and another 6 pairs of these. So you're talking 40, 50, 60, about £70 in hope that would run it and clean the discs. But no, the compound gets kind of stuck in one way, and you have to keep, like, you've got 2 buttons on the side here, one for water and one for compound. If the water doesn't come out because the air bubbles is stopping it from coming out, you've got to press the water button now to bring the water out. And then the C is for the compound. So if the compound's not coming out properly, you have to press the C until the compound starts coming out, and then you can stop them. You can do them both at the same time if you want. You know, that's the way you had to do that when you first set up the machine. So I've been watching a lot of videos, especially the HYBIRD ones, and there ain't that many videos on the HYBIRD. There's more fucking videos on the JFJ than everything else on YouTube at the moment. Yeah, I've had some discs, right, which I put in to either the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, even the Xbox, right? I've put games in which have been so scratched up that the machine will not run them. And, you know, you get an error up saying, please insert disc when you've already inserted it, or this can't be read. You know, different machines give different errors on scratch discs, especially the ones I won't play. So what you do is that you buy a machine and you put it in the machine and you hope it's going to like really clean them up and buffer them and make them like mirror polish. Now, to be honest with you, I'm thinking that these machines, although they're like, you know, brand new, is like between £1,200 and £1,500 brand new. Actually, I can tell you how much they are brand new. VMI HYBIRD 2 disc. On eBay, even pre-owned ones, right? But I don't actually, it don't tell you exactly what kind of grade it is. Oh, grade C, right? Grade C, same as this one, right? But on eBay, the grade C one is £1,074. But on Amazon, they're £750. Now, if I go to their website, where was it? Right, going to their website right now. Right, machine range. Well, let's go to the clearance. Right, the grade A is £1,250. The grade B is £1,050. And grade C, which this one is £895. But I found my one on Amazon and saved about £145 on it. So I got it from the website, their website, I paid £895. But I had some on Amazon and there's a £750, right? Now, if I go to Amazon and go to my orders, and click on the link. Now, you have to go to like see buying options. It's not there for you to actually buy straight away. You've got to go to like the buying options. So, a brand new one, which ain't A, B, or C, is £1,800 on Amazon. But a grade, you know, like the refurbished grade C one is £750. Now, what they've done, it's the it's because the casing is like, you know, a bit scratched up, you know, maybe inside is a little bit tatty as well. You know, like if a woman doesn't put makeup on, it looks ugly, don't it? But when she puts makeup on, you know, she looks a bit better. It's a cosmetic. That's what the word I'm trying to read. Cosmetic. I can't even fucking pronounce it. Cosmetics of the machine. And because it's got a few like scratches and blemishes, you know, they put it down as a grade C, but they do mention that the machine has actually been refurbished by the TDR engineers. But even engineers can't get, I don't care who you fucking say, even a car mechanic can never get something, spot on. There's always going to be a problem with something that you buy, whether it be brand new or fucking second hand. I don't care what people say, there's always going to be a problem with it. Now you go and buy like a fucking car for about 20 grand or something here, you bring it out from the car showroom, you might have a slight problem with the clutch or the brake, or the meters on the car might not be functioning properly, or you might have a fucking flat tire or some shit like that, kind of thing. I don't believe everything is going to be perfect, like, but to get a machine at £750 is a good deal, but it's costing money to try and get the disc done really nice and clean. I could still get rid of them discs if I was wanting to, which I'm not going to, because I'm not happy with the condition they are. But if I was going to, I would say that they're in good condition or fair condition. Because some of them, I think a lot of those I'm going to have to run through again. Tomorrow, I'll probably use the JFJ and just put them on the pad and, put some compound on the pad and buff them up that way, hopefully, and see if they bring out some of the scratches that way. But the thing is, I don't really have many fibre cloths which are fine enough to stop the scratching. Because when you're using fibre cloth, like these ones, on this side it is more bumpy, but on this one it's more kind of like not as bumpy. So when I use it, I use the side which isn't as bumpy, so it feels a bit more soft. This side will definitely scratch your disc up. So why are they not bringing out fibre cloths where they don't scratch your disc up? This one I was using for a little while, and it looked like, I was getting the compound out with really not making any scratches at all. But after a few hours and I started getting tired, kind of thing, like I am now, I started looking at discs and I noticed that, these were leaving little scratches on them. So you can't really get a fibre cloth that isn't going to scratch your disc up. The one that came with the machine was really good, it is a good one. But because there's like a lot of compound on it and like, that blue horrible shit that gets on your hands, and it takes forever to get that crap off your hands, it takes about 5-10 minutes of scrubbing, and then you've got to keep going to the bathroom, wash your hands and like, soaking your hands and get that blue crap off. You should wear gloves actually, but I just don't know where I've done them. I know they're in the kitchen somewhere. I'll have to look for them. But the thing is, I won't be using this machine tomorrow. I would like to, but I'm not going to. But although I've ordered the consumer pack, that's cost me £100 to get, £67. Then you got your £12 postage, your £13 tax. That's built up to like £100, yeah. What I'm going to do when they come through, I will try a new set of discs with the blue compound, which is still in there. And if I'm still not getting a decent, clean disc, which hasn't got that many scratches, you're still going to get scratches, whatever way you do, I suppose. But if I can get it down so like you've only got the odd 1 or 2 little blemishes or 1 or 2 really fine scratches on it, which you can't really tell unless you really look at the disc, then I'll run it with the new pads and the blue compound. But it's going to take a while for me to figure out, because there's a screw in there which you got to keep turning. Turning it one side will control not just the amount of compound, but it'll also control the level and the weight of the where you put the pads down. The pads are pressing down, and when it's pressing down on the disc, it's actually kind of connected to the screw in some way, and you've got to turn that screw every so often to get to that stage where your disc is coming out, you know, practically like mirror, I can't say, mirror shine, you know, like really good condition. You know, it's still probably might have one or two little scratches or blemishes, I say, but you've got to sit around fucking around with it all the time. And you know, I could run through a whole, well, not whole, but a complete pair of pads by doing it like that. And then if I can't get it to work with the blue compound, I then got to change the pads over. I've got to like take the blue compound out. I've got to like really wash out the pipe, the tubing with hot water. I'm trying to flush it. Someone on their video mentioned that it took 20 minutes to flush out the compound through the pipes. Now, you know, the guy with the blue compound said, like, before you put the blue compound in, you got to like flush the original compound out, because otherwise it's going to contaminate and it can screw your machine up a little bit. So when the blue compound came through, that fucking like syringe was that small. Now, if you was going to like try flushing it out with that, that would take you for fucking probably an hour. So I have got this is the one that he sent you. Oh, you need that to flush out, you know, the old compound with hot water. So what you do, where your compound is connecting to your bottle, you take the bottle out, you just like wipe the tube down, because otherwise you're going to get it all over your hands. Wipe the tube down, and then you stick the nozzle, this, into the tube with hot water. Then you just like flush it out like that, and it should pour out from inside the machine into the catch water container thing. But I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to use this fucker. Fill this up with hot water. The nozzle is around about the same size, so I'll stick that in the pipe, and I'm going to have to wash it out because it's got some kind of shit in there. I don't know what it is. Bit of rust, I think. I do have another one, but it's got compound in it. When I was trying another compound on the JFJ, so it didn't have like a squeezy thing on it. It didn't have like one nose. You know, it didn't have like something like this where you can just squeeze it out. I actually bought these like ketchup bottles off Amazon, and they came today, and I filled up 2 of these with the white compound I got off eBay, which is completely shit. So I've been using that on the JFJ, but it's not really doing much good to it. Well, not the machine, but to the discs. And I've got another 3 bottles of that fucking shit coming. So yeah, like when you're flushing it out, I only used warm water, and there's still like white compound in it, in the tubes, which was very difficult to get out. And this blue compound is thicker than the compound that comes with the machine. So I'm going to have to stand out in the kitchen with this machine tomorrow. And, well, not tomorrow, Tuesday, when a new compound comes through for the original compound for the machine. I'm going to go in the kitchen and I'm going to have to like fill this up with hot water and probably spend about 15-20 minutes trying to flush out all that blue shit from the machine before I can actually put in the original compound to let that run through the tube. So if I don't clear the blue compound out, the white compound will get contaminated and it won't do much good to the discs. Although it's not doing too good to the disc. But it's going to take time, because what I want to do is when the compound comes and the new pads come, I want to see if by using the pads, right, I can get away with still using the blue compound. But if I can't, that means one pair of pads is going to be wasted, because I can't put the pads which got blue compound on with the white compound. You see what I mean? So let's say like, that's a pair of pads I'm going to put in on Tuesday, and I'm going to try the pads with the blue compound. If the blue compound's working okay and it's making this come out a lot more clearer, yeah, it came with like a shitty user guide, which I can't remember what I've done with. There's better user guides on the web, which I found and downloaded. The 28-page one. They gave me like a fucking 8-page one. I've not read through the 28-page because I don't like reading, but I do sometimes read it if I need to. But when the new compound, like the new consumer pack comes, I'll use a pair of the original pads with the blue compound, because I'm going to have to keep messing around, getting the screw set so the disc are getting kind of like cleaned up and near mirror, or to that perfect stage where I'm thinking, yeah, that's going to look good. But if it doesn't work within like a couple of hours, because I think each pad can last up to about 8 hours, I think, something like that. Actually, someone did say 16 hours, but I'm not getting 16 hours out of them. I don't think I'm getting 8 hours out of them, especially these ones. So I'll probably try it with the blue compound for a few hours, and I won't be using discs games which have got good titles on, which I think are good. It's going to be the shitty ones like Sing Now and Dance Now and fucking Viva games and all that shit, kind of thing. Because those are the discs I don't mind screwing up, because they are going to be like the culprits to see if I can get those. Not so much of a mirror finish. If it does come out of a mirror finish, that's great, because then I know that I've got the settings right, and then I can carry on using the blue compound. But if I can't get the disc near to that mirror finish, I know it's the compound ain't working properly. Although that compound, the blue one, is thicker than the white one, which it originally comes with. So if I can't get it kind of like in good nick, the disc, or near mirror finish, I would take out these pads, I'll take that into the kitchen, and I will flush that thing out with several of these with hot boiling water. The only thing is I don't want it too hot, because it might do something damage to the actual tube. So it's going to be, like between warm and hot. They do say use hot water, but I don't want it like fucking boiling, kind of thing, because it probably like shrink the tube or something and cause damage to the tube, then I'm going to have to send the fucking thing back, get it like checked over. And if they, because the thing is, because I'm using compatible blue thing, they might say, well, you screwed up your warranty, you know, we ain't going to do nothing. The only way they will do it is by having it serviced, and that's going to cost £170, which I don't want to do. So, you know, if I had to spend half an hour, 3/4 an hour trying to flush that shit out, I'll have to do it. And as it ain't coming until Tuesday, that stuff, I've got practically, you know, all day tomorrow to mess around with the JFJ and put some disc through the JFJ. But I want to go and get a haircut probably. I need to do some shopping tomorrow as well. So I won't be doing too much cleaning tomorrow. Because I tell you that the guy said to me, you know, on his eBay page that the blue compound doesn't really smell. Well, I'll tell you one thing, it does fucking smell. And if you're using it for a certain amount of time, it gives you a headache and you feel a little bit nauseous as well, dizzy. So you do have to have a break. Like someone said on here the other day, you're spending too much time, you know, trying to get the disc cleaned. You need to have a break. So yeah, I'm not going to be on it for like 3-4 hours constant. It'd be like a couple of hours, come off for an hour, then go back on for a while. The only other thing I was thinking about doing, if it's still not cleaning the deep scratches, but it's cleaning the fine scratches, what I could do is run the JFJ with the pads, the sand pads, these ones. Run it with the coarse first for 10 seconds, then the soft paper for 10 seconds. Give it a quick buff on either that pad or that one. And once I've done it, you know, depending on the condition of disc. See, this one's really bad. It's got splatter marks everywhere. It's like, you know, this one ain't going to work anyway because it's got a crack on it as well. I've ordered some like these little white stickers you can actually put around the inside and outside of your disc to stop them from cracking anymore. And by doing that, you can still play the game. But yeah, I'm going to do it with JJ and then put them to one side. And then once I've got that sorted out, either with or without the blue compound, I'll start running these for 30 seconds because that's the lowest time count on there, 30 seconds regular. The Blu-ray setting is minimum of 1 minute. And whether you put in a Blu-ray or regular disc, the Blu-ray will go up to 4 minutes and the regular will go up to 4 minutes. You can't go above 4 minutes unless you run it for 4 minutes, stop it. When it stops, press 4 minutes again. But I don't think a disc would need more than 4 minutes. I've seen people who's been using the machine getting a decent disc out in 2 to 3 minutes. I think that machine would probably be more better to operate on disc, which have only got like minute or very fine scratches on, because then that way you'd only have to run it for 30 seconds. So what I would have to do is run a lot of these discs again through the JFJ, try to get the scratches down to a minimum, and then put them on the HYBIRD after for 30 seconds. Hopefully that'll clear them and might make the disc a lot more better. So it's more kind of like screwing around and trying different techniques, you know, kind of thing, which is a fucking pain in the ass because, you know, I thought that this machine, you could put one disc in, put it in for a minute or two, and it come out polish and shine, you know, like a shiny glass, but not. And I think it is down to the compound as well. because before I had to buy the original, before I had to buy the compatible stuff here, I didn't know until, you know, I'd already ordered it and waited for it to come through. I was nearly out of the original compound, and I was on the last set of pads, and it just started working just perfectly, just perfect. Then you get the area coming up, change compound, and you look, there's no compound left in there. You know, you put a teeny drop of water in, you know, just to mix it up a little bit. Then you get an error saying change pads, CP, and you look up and you realise that you've run out of pads as well, and you think, fuck. And then when you get the compatible ones and the compatible compound, it won't run like it was just before you ran out of the original stuff. You got to start messing around because the compound is thicker, and the grain inside the compound is slightly different as well. The pads being a lot more different to these ones. Now they don't actually, although on their website they've got the actual bottles of compound for £20, and the pads, one pair is £10. Yeah, just £10. They don't have them in stock. You got to buy the consumer pack. Now, any, like, you know, if you bought a bottle of the compound at £20, and then you wanted 6 pairs of these at £60, that's £80 straight away. You know, the consumer pack is cheaper than buying them all kind of separate kind of thing. I should have bought another. I think I might actually do it. Actually, go back on there and order a couple more fibre cloths. I think they're like £3.10 each. I think. I was also going to order the but not is it called GameCube adapter, but that's fucking like £30 Right, let me see. Cloth. Right, cloth and spray is £6.50. Cloth spray pack XL is £44. Now, £44, right? You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Get 10 cloths and 2 bottles of CDs play. Or you can buy 1 cloth and 1 bottle of CD spray for £6.50. But I don't need the spray. So the cloths, buy 4 cloths, that's £13. But I don't want 4 cloths because I've got too many fucking cloths. It just means like trying to find out which ones do not leave fucking scratches on. Now I've got so many different types of fibre cloth. It ain't funny, I tell you. I've bought so many different fibre cloths. Some of them work, some of them don't work, and the ones that do work get kind of dirty rather quickly. So I'm going to order let me order 4 of those and say grab this deal, because like 4 of them would be £15, right? But if you grab the deal, you get 10% off. So instead of being £15, it'd be £13.50. So I'll go to checkout, right? Postage is £5.95 and taxes is £3.89. But I want to get those a bit quicker. So if I do DPD, instead of costing me £23, it's going to cost me £28 because the normal standard 3-day shipping is £5.95. But if you want them next day, it's like £10. But if you do the standard, right, the tax under normal standard shipping is £3.89. And I say the postage is £5.95, but it's 3-day shipping. But if you do DPD, the tax goes up from £3.89 to £4.70. I'm just seeing if there's any token coupon codes I can use, which there isn't. So that is going to cost me another £28, which I'm going to order. And then I'll email the guy again saying I've also ordered these cloths. Could he possibly put them all in together? So I need to go onto my email. And go to sent. Sent. And then reply to Mark. What's it called? Consumer. Would it? I spelled pack properly. Can you send them out? To be the same day as a consumer pack I ordered. Either in the same postal box or separate as long I get the same day, please. I'll point down the I fucking hate doing this, I tell you, man. I need to go back into my email a different way and copy that. Go to that. I'm hoping he's going to be good enough and give me an extra pair of pads like he did say. Because when I spoke to him on email, I said to him, you know, I'm just wasting so much stuff. It's unbelievable, man. I said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to order some new stuff later. He goes, well, when you put an order through, let me know and I'll give you an extra pair of pads. Well, because I'm spending like too much fucking money, it's now like £130 on a consumer pack and 4 fucking fibre cloths. I've asked him to put the extra pair of pads in, which he said he would do. And I've also asked him if he could give me a free bottle of compound, because I fed you, be quiet, because I think like the amount of problems I've had with this machine, you know, it just ain't fucking funny. You know, I'm not really laughing. I'm a bit upset in one way, although it may or may not look I'm upset, but I do feel like, you know, I'm a bit downhearted, annoyed that it's not cleaning all of this that it's supposed to be cleaning. You know, it's leaving scuff marks, it's leaving blemishes, it's leaving scratches on there still. Even though, like, when you put it in the machine and bring it out, you know, you think, wow, well, that looks good. You put it in your bag, you know, in your box, in a CD wallet, and then when you go to look at them later, you know, under the bedroom light, you can see faint scratches, you know, you can see blemishes, you can see spots on the disc, you know, and it looks like the disc hasn't been cleaned properly. It looks like there's still compound on there. You know what, Wayne? The first time I ever cleaned a disc, I was watching YouTube, right? And there's a guy, he's got a drill, and he's got, where is it? Where are you, motherfucker? Can't even fucking find it now. I've got one here somewhere. I just can't fucking seem to find the damn thing. Shit. But there is a component, right, where you connect that to a sticky thing, which has got a screw coming out, and you put it on a drill. And I was watching this guy doing that. I thought, oh, fucking hell, man, maybe I might be able to get some of my disc clean like that. And although it was getting some of the scratches out, it wasn't getting any real good scratches out, because what you had to do is you get a disc, right, like this one. You still had to buy some sandpaper, and sometimes I don't tell you what kind of grit sandpaper you need. So you get sandpaper, and people were using toothpaste, because apparently toothpaste gets into the groove. Get into the groove, baby. Gets into the groove, and it kind of like closes those grooves up. And then they wash it off, then they get the drill, and, you know, you've got to hold it really tight, or make something like you can put the disc into, so it doesn't like spin around and fly out. And watching him like using this drill, and like he's polishing it, I thought, yeah, I've got to try that. And I bought a drill, I bought the attachment, I bought sandpaper, I bought fucking like buffer pads and shit like that, yeah. Because this is how I originally started off. And I was using the toothpaste, and I was washing the toothpaste off, and you can still smell the toothpaste, because you know, even if you got the game working perfectly, yeah, and you pass it on, you're still going to have to smell the fucking toothpaste. Like you can't get the toothpaste smell off of it. So there's me, and I've got the fucking drill with the pad on, and I'm pushing it, and it's like spinning around, and sometimes it just would go fucking flying. There's one time it went straight across my face like that, and I could feel it just hitting my ear. Oh, fuck this, man. This is dangerous. So I've got some of the old PC CD cases, and I took one of those apart, and where inside the mechanism, you got where the disc goes, and I took one of these apart, and I got that plastic bit out, but I left it in the bottom metal shaft thing, and the disc would stay in there. It wouldn't fly out, and I was just doing that way. It was a bit rude, and I was just doing it that way, and it was making the disc better than it was, but it wasn't like making it like really clean. There were still scratches on there, blemishes, and even when you cleaned it with a fucking microfiber cloth, a microfiber cloth, as I say, these ones here, I think this one ain't too bad, and the blue one, but after using it so many times, you get all this shit on there, because like drop it on the floor, you get like cat's hair and bits of fucking food which have fallen on the floor, shit that you bought in from outside, glass and stones and all that shit, and you pick it up thinking it's all nice and clean, and you're like rubbing away. That sounds nice, doesn't it? You're rubbing away on a disc thinking, this is good, so relaxing, and you look at it and you think, oh shit, them scratches weren't there before. Fuck, I've got to do that again. So you put it back in the machine, and then give it another buff. You chuck that fibre cloth away to one side, then you get another one, and then you're buffing it away, thinking, nice, and you think, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? But there's still a few scratches on there. Is it because the microfiber that's leaving it, or I think what it is that if you press down, you need to be gentle with it. As if someone's actually doing that to your hair. That nice stroke, that nice caress, that gentleness. But if you put a bit too much pressure on it, that's where it's leaving the scratches. Would you like me to come and caress your hair, Wayne? Would you like me to run my fingers through your hair, boy? But it's just like, it is more trial and error, but it's a fucking time consuming, and the compound really does smell sometimes, and it causes you the headaches, and you feel like lightheaded, nausea kind of thing, and you think, I've done too much of this, I've got to turn it off and have a break. So you turn it off and watch TV for an hour or two, then you're thinking, I'll have a check on those discs, see if they still come out all nice and shiny, and then you look up into the light and think, oh fuck, there's still a load of scratches on there. They all go through it again. So out of probably about 400 discs, I'm going to say about 85% of them might have to go back through the machine. Now they do say you can do 300 discs a day on that machine, all right? But they don't say how many pads you would use on 300 hours or 300 discs. They don't say how much compound you would use up on 300 discs. You can get inline fans that will suck all the fumes outside. Well, no, it's the smell. It's not as if when you make a cup of tea and the fumes with the tea leaves coming out and you smell it like that. You can't put a fan. It's got two little fans in there to draw the worst of it away. You've got two little fans at the bottom, which spins round when the machine is cleaning the machine, because they're the actual pump One is for the compound and one is for the water. So they're the pumps. But on top of the lid, just underneath the lid, underneath the plastic, you've got two little orange fans that's supposed to, like, you know, pull away the odour, because it has got like little air vents on the top. I would show you, but I can't lift the fucking thing up because I tell you, it weighs over 8 kilos, this fucking machine. If I pick this up, right, that machine now weighs probably about 5 of these. It is fucking heavy. Now, the thing was, the DPD bloke who delivered it left it downstairs, didn't he, the cunt? I had to go down and get it. And there's me lugging it up with one arm because I've got arthritis in this hand. I can't grip much with this. I can move my fingers, but I can't grip stuff with them. No, like, if I have a cup of coffee, you know, I can use these two fingers, that finger and thumb, but I can't seem to grip a full cup of coffee with these fingers. Because when I do, the cup just goes like that. I just can't grip them properly with a full cup. I can do it okay with like that because it's empty, but when it's when it's full up, it's just sliding out my fingers. So, like, you know, I'm still right-handed, and I can do a lot of things with my right hand. Won't say what, but you know what I mean. You know, I have to drink, you know, go to the toilet and all that shit. Luckily, I'm right-handed, and I've still got use of one fucking hand. So if I lost the feeling in both my fucking hands, I wouldn't be doing any of this. I'd have like a care fucking takeaway hand here, you know, washing me and cleaning my backside and all that kind of bullshit. I don't think that won't be too long before it fucking happens. Losing your fucking bodily feelings and functions and all that shit. I'm like 64 now. Fucking old goat, you know, you can see the old beard, you can see like the grey round hair. I've got to go and have a haircut again soon, this week coming. And yet, you might have seen that I've had this on a few days, alright? And some of you guys might think I'm a disgusting bastard. I'm not going to change the t-shirt over when I'm doing my disc cleaning, because sometimes if I'm using this one, I might turn it on accidentally and like compound flies out at you. Or if you've got a disc and it's got compound on and you drop it on your t-shirt accidentally, you're getting all the shit on your t-shirt. So I'm using this t-shirt while I'm cleaning discs. If I'm not doing any disc cleaning for the day, then I'll wear a different t-shirt. And the other thing is, even if I'm not getting compound on the t-shirt, you know, you're still getting the smell of the compound on your clothing. Like, you know, my jogging trousers, you know, I've been using those because I've been getting a lot of compound on my fucking trousers with relief. So I've not changed, you know, I've changed my trousers. I take my trousers off when I go to bed, but then I put them back on when I'm going to do some cleaning. Because even if I'm not using that one yet, no, you still got to squirt the compound, or, you know, like, what's it called? The disc anti-static stuff. Now, although you're spraying it on the pads, it still sprays up and like covers you with it. I actually fucking done it the wrong way the other day. I went to do it that way, and I did it facing this way, and I squirted myself with it. I thought, fuck. Luckily, this is only plain water. What do that? Yeah, I'm going to try not to use that machine too much though. It'll only be, I think I'm only going to be using that for like the final buffing, which is the 30-second one. If there's a disc which is really badly scratched, you'll have to go for the JFJ. You know, I've got plenty of these pads. I've got probably about 30 pads of the coarse and the soft. I've got other different types of grit, like 800 grit and 1000 grit. The coarse is 600. The soft is 1200. I did buy some fucking brown ones, and that the grit on them, although it says 12 and 600, I think the difference is because it's got a P in front of it, and it's more of a harder grain than normal. Like if a P, oh fucking hell. Right, so all this though, although this one hasn't got the P on, yes it has. This P, right, this is the P600, right. That just says 600 on it. Now this one, you can have to use a specific one of these which has got Velcro on it to like have it on there, right? Because the original sandpaper that comes with this is like sticky back ones, and what you do, you stick them on like that, but they're not all that brilliant. So I actually bought some of these. They called like hook and loop, and what these are, the hook and loop ones, they've got like Velcro on it on one side, and then you put the other side, which is flat, like, you know, that kind of flatness, in the machine. You put it down like that, and then the Velcro, you put that on there, and it holds it on pretty tight so it doesn't come off, right? But the original pads that come from JFJ are these sticky ones. And what you do with them, you get these ones which haven't got the Velcro on it. These are just like, you know, soft on both sides. You get these ones and you stick it on like that, and it should stay on there. It should, but sometimes it don't, because the water is soaking through it and it's making the glue soften. And then I've had on a few occasions where sandpaper is just like kind of flew off inside and practically like near enough screwed up the whole fucking machine. And you can tell what's happening because like it makes a loud fucking noise, and you have to shut it off rather quickly, open it up, and you find that, you know, one of the sandpapers are flowing off and like trying to get caught up into the fucking like spindle. And it's also screwed up the disc as well. But the P ones, the P1200 and the P600 are more harder of a grit than the normal 1200. See, that's a 2000 one which I used. That one is, would you believe, a 2000 is a lower grain than the 1200. So this 1200 has a little bit more coarse to this one. So the 2000 is more softer than the original 1200. So I've been trying different like sandpapers to find out what results I get on what with that machine, because you can't put that in that machine. I was thinking like maybe I could like cut around a circle and then stick it on there and see if that works. But if it keeps like, if it doesn't stick on even with super glue and it comes off, it could screw the machine up, which I don't want. So I'm not going to attempt to do it. Although I thought about doing it, I'm not going to bother doing it. But yeah, I've got like I've even got a pack up here which I bought off Amazon, which has even got a lot of other different types of grit in there. Don't know, this is it. No, they're all 1200. Yeah, this is the one. I could show you how many fucking sandpaper packs I've got, but the camera won't go around, and I'm not going to bring it all down. It's just too much. But this is a pack I got off Amazon, and it has 1000 grit, 1500 grit. So I don't think I've used that one yet. I did try the 2000. I can't remember what result I was getting. That's 1500. 2000. 3000 grit. 4000 grit. And 5000 grit. Now the 5000 is like a light grey. Same with the 4000 grit, is like a light grey. Even the 4000 is like a light grey. The 2000 is a darker grey, and a 1200, a 1500, and 1000 is like a darker grey as well. I've not really messed around with those at the moment, which I will try sometime. If I get fed up using that one day, I'll just like mess around on that to see what kind of results I'd get by sanding down some shitty discs. No, I don't want. I might even consider about buying some really shitty scratched up DVDs. You can get like some like 200 DVDs on vintage for about a £5. So I might buy a bunch of them, because the DVDs are around about the same kind of like coating on those than some of the games are, you know, kind of thing. Some of the games have got the same kind of density and a thickness as music CDs and movie DVDs have got. And like, I don't want to be using all the game discs, even if they're shitty discs. You know, I'm pretty sure I can get rid of them at a later date next year if I start selling any. I probably might do trades actually. Like, there is some sites where you can trade your stuff, which I might do that instead. Because you've got some nasty bastards out there who start trying to sell stuff. All do stuff. I've got to report him. So no, I'm not going to be selling stuff. I'm going to be putting it on a couple of websites I know of where you can actually trade your computer games for others, like computer stuff or gaming stuff, I should say. Right, well that's it. I'm going to go. What time is it? 11:30. I need to sit back. I've got a fucking headache again. Too many streams as well. I need to just like have an early. The thing is, I try to have an early night, but it doesn't really work out. I keep waking up every morning, 2 or 3 times a morning. I get up, go to the bathroom. I have so many weird fucking stupid dreams. I don't even know how it comes I'm having these weird stupid fucking dreams. Don't know what they're about. They don't fucking make sense. See, this cloth, the yellow one ain't too bad, because I just put like some really bad fingerprints on it, and like after 1, 2 little like swirls around, they've gone now. But this ain't in bad condition actually. The thing is, the compound gets stuck around a circle, and then that way you can actually tell that someone's cleaned the disc around that inner circle and the outer circle. So you've got to try to like get all that shit out. And I've actually noticed that some of the discs I've been trying to clean have got little cracks there. Like this one's got a small crack. It still should be playable, but I thought some sticky stuff like little sticky label things that you can put around the disc to stop it from cracking even more. But yeah, I think tomorrow I won't be using that one. I'll be using the JFJ, try to buff them up and get them a little bit more cleaner, and then I'll put them to one side. If they still got like faint scratches, fine scratches, or blemishes, I'll put them to one side. And then when the new Kashima pack comes around on Tuesday, I'll get it up and running again and try to get it so it's set without causing any damage to the disc. I'm trying to get near mirror finish, but that will probably it could take about 20-30 discs before I can even get that done. So that's why I think I should actually order some movie DVDs off Vintage. Never know, there might be some good movie discs out there. But I'd say over there's probably about 400 discs there, and they've all gone through a cleaner. Well, I say it. 3/4 of them gone through the cleaner, not just the hybrid one, but the JFJ one. But then I've got all the games in my living room, boxed on the shelf. Fucking I feel dizzy. Yeah, I've probably got a few, probably about 1,500, 2,000 games in the living room. That's going to be fucking fun, isn't it? Going for all that lot. Bringing in a stack of games, completing box with manuals, 10, 20 at a time. I reckon, to clean every single disc to get, near mirror finish, hardly any scratch on it, could probably cost me another £500, £600. But then I'd have to start selling some to recoup the money back on not so much the machine, but for all the stuff I've had to pay for, like the compound, the pads, the anti-static CD spray, the microfiber cloths. I originally did buy it so I can get rid of some of the games. I have. So if I was to get rid of a lot of them, they need to have a little bit of a value so I can take them up to CX and do a trading. And with the trading, you can either get cash for it or voucher. You get more on voucher than you do at cash. I could take out 20 games up there, all have a value of between £3, £5, £10 or whatever, yeah. But I wouldn't get all that on a cash back. I'd get more on a voucher. And then with the voucher, I'd use to buy other games to put with my collection. And they will probably be this bastard, which I've bought and I've not really played much with at the moment. Glad that they can't get really scratched up and damage the games on that. I bought a bunch of Game Boy games the other day as well, about 2 weeks ago. Some had boxes, original boxes, and there was half of them without no cases and stuff like that. So I don't just buy games. If I buy games, I buy them scratched, because the scratch games are a lot more cheaper than a game that's in a box, because people don't want to go out and buy either a machine and repair them themselves. They rather get rid of the scratch games at a cheap price, and they know that they ain't got to sit on them for a long time. So I tend to always buy scratch games. But the other week I bought a lot of 30 games, and it said scratched, untested. And I tell you, man, talking about scratch, it looked like it had been run over, or most of them looked like they'd been thrown on the floor and run over by a fucking tractor or something. Yeah, they was that badly scratched up. And I tried putting them in the game console, and it wouldn't read, no disc, insert disc, or this disc can't be read, or disc error. But putting that on a 2-minute run, quite fucking hell, man, it removed so many scratches, unbelievable. Although it didn't remove every scratch, it removed all the deep ones, or most of the deep ones, and it left not kind of a polished, but you know, you can see scratches on there still, but it removed, I'd say, about 75% of all the scratches that was on the disc. Put it in the console and it started working straight away. So, you know, it is a good machine. Just that it's fucking temperamental. Every time you change the compound and the pad's over, you gotta keep twiddling around the fucking screw. Because if you turn it one way, you get too much compound coming out and it won't repair the scratches. Turn it the other way around, it repairs the scratches in one way, but there's compound everywhere. You go over it just right so it's actually clearing the scratches and running the compound and cleaning the disc with the compound and leaving a near fine finish, or even a mirror finish, which I ain't doing at the moment. And they do have, yeah, you're right, they do have different thicknesses. Like the PlayStation 3 game, I found that the film on the PlayStation 3 game is thinner than the PlayStation 2 game. And not only that, there's a black disc. Let me see if I can find one. God, fucking I shouldn't pick that up with my left hand. PlayStation 3. Right, so this PlayStation 3 game here, it has kind of a mirror shine to it, even though there's scratches on there and fingerprints and God knows what else. These are classed under a Blu-ray disc, but it's a thin layer, very thin layer, and if you put it through your machine, it doesn't guarantee it's going to repair the disc, you know, with all the scratches on. But throughout the years, they kind of like made the layer a bit more thicker, and now, you know, you can actually use some of these games on the HYBIRD machine. But where I bought that compatible compound and the compatible pads, not just him, but a couple of other people were sending like compounds and stuff like that. Even people who actually list on eBay saying, like, you know, I will repair your games for like £2 each or something. Yeah, I was reading one today, actually, funny enough. A guy will not touch PlayStation 3 or Xbox X games because they are more kind of like very finicky in getting cleaned. No, they would. You might only have 1 or 2 scratches on there, but running it through the machine and bringing it out, you might have 20 more scratches on it, because it depending on the layer of the game, you know, how much of the film it's got on the game. And, you know, the older the game is, the thinner the film is. If it's like a 2010 game or something, yeah, it's very thin and it can wear away really quickly, and the machine can fuck it up rather quickly. But if it's like a 2015 game, you know, the film has actually been kind of like increased on the game, and they eventually did change over from the Blu-ray onto a silver disc. So that's also a Blu-ray one. You know, even the PlayStation 1 and 2s with the black and the blue backing, this is more of a plastic, and these will clean up better than these ones, but these ones will probably still leave a bit of a swirl and a few scratches on there. Like this one, that's got so many scratches on it, it's unbelievable. And I've probably got about 150 discs in here which need to be done. And then down there, I've got another folder with probably about 100 discs in there. So But yeah, like when they first brought them out, these were classes like Blu-ray, but they were kind of like, as I say, really thin film around them. But as they came out with better games, the disc came out a bit better as well, and they compacted the game with more extra layers of the film on the actual game itself. That's what I read anyway. That's what I read today on a comment. It's just time and effort, you know. It also costs a lot of fucking money doing them. So you can't, you know, no one can really say, well, you know, Steve's like, you know, selling these games, you know, important. Well, I'm not selling them because there's no proof that I fucking sold one yet, and I haven't sold one yet. The only thing I've done with them, if I've got, you know, like I buy the game cases and manuals without games as well, and like if I can get the games cheap, and the case is cheap, and the game matches with the case, then I can make my own CIB completing box kind of game. And if it's got a bit of value to it, then I can put it to one side and then take out the CX and trade it in to actually get more money or more credit. I've never taken money from CX. It's always been credits. That's how I originally got my Wii console, because I was going to car boot fairs buying games and shit like that and scanning them, seeing they had like a little bit of extra profit on it, and it wasn't worth actually buying a game for £1, and it's only like, you know, £1.50 trading. It's still like an extra 50p on top as a trading profit kind of thing. You know, £1, you know, you buy a game, so like, say that game Meet the Robinsons, right? Let's say that game sells at like £8 in CEX. To trade that in, you might get £2 cash or £3 trading, right? If you can get that for £1 in a car boot fair, I actually got this off of eBay with a bunch of other games, actually, you know, probably about 30 games for about 50 quid or something. Now, if you buy it for £1, you might make £1 extra profit, but you might make £2 on the trading. I'm going to be wise enough to take the £2 trading, because that £2 trading will build up with all the other games I'm going to trade in for voucher costs. And like, that's how I, you know, accumulate my vouchers. And once I've got enough to buy something, you know, I'm still going to car boot fairs and charity shops and shit and those and spending money. You know, you might say, well, can't you just buy it straight out? Well, you could do, but it's going to be more expensive. No, buying games off eBay or car boot fair or charity shop, if you can get it cheap enough, it cuts the cost down quite a lot. Now, that Switch is the OLite one, you know, the one before the actual Switch 2 came out. That would have cost me £240 in cash, but I paid all that in credit, the voucher. And that's because I was buying the games and, like, you know, working out how much voucher I would get on a game. I picked up one game, right, a while back for £1. I got home and scanned it, and it was a quite, you know, some people say it's a high hitter, but it wasn't a high hitter. But the game CX was selling for £40. It's a £40 game, and I picked it up for £1. Now, if I trade in for cash, I would have probably got about £18-19 on it. But trading with a voucher, it's like £25. So I put all my vouchers together and just like build them up. I know I'm spending money, but you've got to spend money to make money in one way, but I'm not making money, I'm making credit vouchers. And like, I kept doing it that way. So really, I have spent money on that Switch, by buying the games to get enough games to make the value in trade to get the game, to get that. So really, that's probably cost me, well, it's £240 in credit. How many games I've had to buy? Could have been about £100, £120, but I've doubled that in voucher. You see what I mean? You know, there's games out there. If you're lucky enough, I mean very lucky enough, there are games out there which is fucking worth hundreds. I mean hundreds. You know, especially the Nintendo 64. What was it? The NES. You know, there's a lot of different consoles out there, which games that came out in the past. You know, you've probably like been one of the first person to fucking buy the game, you know, for about £10-20 or something here, and because they didn't make so many of the games and they got kind of like rare over time. You know, you might have spent like £20 on the game, and you know, you scan it, and to your surprise, is like about a fucking like £1,000 game or something. You know, if you're that lucky, that is. Like there was one time I went to a car boot fair and I picked up some Xbox games, and I paid like £1 each from you. I was just about going to turn away, and the woman brought out some Switch games, and I'd never had a Switch at the time, because I'm talking about last year this time. And she bought some Switch games out. I thought, I don't have a Switch, but I wonder if they might have a trading value. So I said, how much are they? And he goes, oh, £1 each. So I thought, well, I fucking have those. And there was only 3 games there, Switch games. So I gave her £3. And I started walking around the car boot fair. I've got my phone out because there's an app which scans the game, and it tells you how much CX will pay cash or trading value. I'll tell you, the game was £60. CX was selling at £60. Trading was like £35-40. I thought, fuck, you know. And then one of the other games was like about £15 trading. So really, you know, you made your profit, whether it being cash, you know, cash wise, you know, you would have probably made about £30. That's nearly 300% profit, really. But trading, with the trading costs, with the voucher, it's like 400%. And you're fucking walking around with a smile on your face, thinking, fucking hell, man, I've just like hit the jackpot here. But there are games out. If you look on the American websites, yeah, where people go to like these computer conventions, there's games out there fucking value. I think one's called Little Samson. You look up Little Samson, right? It's more of an American game, yeah. You're talking thousands on that game. And originally, when it first came out, it's probably about a $30 game. People were like trying to find that game. It's so fucking rare now. You know, even unboxed cartridge, you know, £10,000-15,000. But if you've got a one which is boxed near mint condition, you know, there's been rumours going around that people paid like 40-50 grand just for one game. It's like with the Pokemon cards, yeah, which I'm not interested in. Used to collect them when, you know, we were kids, when they were very, very young. I don't know whatever happened to them. If I had them and still found them, I reckon there'd probably be some heavy hitter ones there and that, because they were the first ones that ever came out. But with Pokemon cards, you know, people are paying up to like 100,000, 200,000 just for a piece of cardboard. It's like with boxes, you know, if you get a console and you don't want the box, don't throw it away, because the box can pick up £30-40 just for the box. It's ridiculous, man, I tell you. But, you know, for a better price, the box has got to be in very good, you know, minty condition. It's like with the Nintendo 64 and the NES and, you know, all the other cartridge games. If it's mint condition, you're going to get a higher value money for it. But the box is like just slightly torn, dented, scuffed, the price does go down, but it's still a high value game. But I think like the last game, as I said, watching on the YouTube on an American gaming convention, someone actually bought a boxed mint little Samsung game for like $60,000 just for one game. There's some crazy fucking like collectors out there, man. That's what I do. Like, you know, I don't peddle them because, as I say, like, it wouldn't be worth me selling them as they are. You know, it's not worth me buying all these scratch games just to sell them on the scratch games. I ain't gonna get my money back on them. That's why I invested on the machines. Like, although you can see this one here, before I bought that one a week ago, 3 weeks, no, about a month ago, I bought another one of these. It's in the living room still in its original box because I was watching a video one day and it's an American guy. Can't remember what his fucking YouTube channel is, but he's got 3 of them now. And he uses one for like one particular sanding, like the 600 grit, the other one for the 1200 grit, and then the other one for like buffering and like polishing. Now, he was saying that one of these JFJs, one of these JFJ machines that came through was faulty. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, what can go wrong with it? Like, my first original one I bought from Amazon was a 110 fucking volt one. And I thought it was a 240 or 220 volt one. But they sent me a 110 volt one. I went and got a converter, plugged it in. 5 minutes later, pump, fucking smoke poured out of it. Shut it down rather quickly. Got onto the seller, told them it's not working. It took me a week to get it sorted out. They wanted me to send it to America to get a replacement. And I said, no, I'm not responsible for it. I'm going to send it to you and you're responsible for it. And I spoke to Amazon about it. And Amazon had a chat with them. And the person who sold me it said, look, you know, okay, we'll refund you. Don't worry about it, keep it. So I've got the original one, but it's still broken. It can't be repaired unless I send it to America. And that cost me like £100 there and £100 back. It wouldn't be feasible because I can get a brand new one for fucking £250. And that's with postage. It's $258 actually, which I ordered a month ago, and it came through and it done the same thing that happened to the American guy. The top bit, let's get these off. This bit here, his one was like kind of wobbling. This one's okay, but his one was wobbling like back and forwards. So he had to send it back to get a replacement one. Now, the one I've got through a couple of weeks ago, after it turned up, I was going to set it all up, get it running. I thought, something told me just to check it before I'd switch it on. And I looked at that wheel and it's wonky. So I thought, same thing happened to that other guy is happening to me. So I emailed them, the seller on eBay, who is a JFJ, seller. And I said to him, look, my wheel is wonky. I said, what can you do about it? Are you going to send me a return postage slip so I can send it back for you to replace it and send me another one? Or what? Because I'm not paying for it to be sent back. It's under warranty. It says 30-day return. It's not even been a day since I've had it. So he said, well, what we do, we send you a replacement lid, because this bit here you can actually remove. There's two like plastic pins there, which are a bit hard. You got to like use a hammer and a screwdriver and knock them out, but it won't break them. And he goes, I'll send you a new top, and we'll test it before we send it to you. So I said, yeah, okay, fair enough. So I said, well, what do I do with this one, the top from here? Because I'm not going to send this back to you until I get the replacement one. Because how do I know you're going to send me a replacement one? You know, if I have to, I probably might use the other one. But it'll only probably be for sanding, it won't be buffering, because if it's that wonky, you know, it's not a bad wonk, it's just like a little minor wonk. You can still see it, you know, kind of like wonking around a little bit. So he said, no, we'll send you another one, and we'll ship that out on Tuesday last week, because their last Monday was like a special holiday in America. So he said, we'll send it out Tuesday, we'll send you the tracking number, and don't worry about returning that lid. So I thought, well, that's good then, because this particular lid, even without, you know, this has got a plastic wheel thing on it, yeah. All the original, like, updated ones have got like a metal kind of like wheel thing, and they kind of like attract heat quite a lot more. So people would tend to not run them for more than a 2 minute. If they're going to run it 2 minutes on a very heavy scratch disc, they run it for 2 minutes, stop it, let it cool down a little bit, then run it another 2 minutes. But usually it's only like a 3 minute for a really bad heavy scratch like that one. If you've got a really bad heavy scratch on the HYBIRD, sell it 3 minutes and then it should clear it all. But as I say, I'm having issues with that one. So yeah, I think that's like a $40-50 replacement. So I can keep this, and if I was to take off, well, I will have to take the other lid off to replace it with a new one, but there's stuff on that which I can use for spares, like, you know, the wheel itself, the spring mechanism, the actual top lid itself. You know, I reckon out of that, once I take it off and put a new one on, it's probably about 75% in parts I could use in spare. And if you was to order those bits separately, it'd cost you more money to buy the separate parts than it would than buying just the complete lid. And people don't realise that. So, I still got a fucking headache. I can't even remember when I took my last meds, actually. I don't know if I've got any. Oh, that's empty. I would have had some of these lying, but none there. Can't remember when I last had any. Oh, I fucking OD on 2 tablets. I OD on 2 fucking tablets. Thing is, they make this so fucking hard to get out the packet. These paracetamols. No, it ain't the same machine. Because the guy who had problems with these one is American, and the machines over there run 1/10 volt. When I ordered my other one, these, because this one I bought this one second hand actually, because after my one went down, my first original one, the 10 volt one, I didn't know anywhere to get it replaced, and I wasn't going to send it to America because I knew it would cost me an arm and leg to send it there. And then like they would only probably repair it and send it back as a 1/10 volt. And if I had to plug that back into the converter, it'd do the same fucking thing. So I didn't bother getting it fixed, and I just left it for about nearly 2 years, I think it was. And then I was just looking on eBay and I thought, a lot of these fucking discs are scratched still, there's got to be somewhere I can clean it. And I saw a guy selling the second-hand one. He had none of the other stuff, the component. It didn't have the compound, it didn't have the pads, it didn't have the spray bottle, nothing. It was just a machine. And he wanted £150 for it. So I sent them a message. I said, look, is it 100% working? Is it a 220 volt? Can you send me a few pictures? And it had actually been cleaned out as well. It had like a little bit of compound, dry stuff in it, but nothing major. So I said, as long as it's definitely working, I'll have it, because I have got the compound. So I said, I'll be honest with you, I bought one a couple of years ago, and they sent me a fucking 110 volt one, and it blew up. And I was lucky enough to get a refund, but they let me keep the machine because it would have cost them too much to return it, and it would have cost me an arm and leg to return it. So I do still have all the compound, the sandpaper, the spray bottle, the anti-static spray, the cloth and all that shit that came with it, still original in its box. So I said, all I need is the machine. So he said, yeah, it's still available. So I said, right, any kind of discount, because he wanted like £150 plus like £12 postage. And I said to him, can you do 150 with postage? And he said, you're right then. So I've had this one for about a year, but I've not used it the whole time in that year, because there's times I've got so fed up with games, and I was going to car boot fairs and I was just building all the games up, and I kept thinking, I'll dig out that working JoJo one day, but I couldn't remember where I put the fucking thing, and it's buried in the living room behind a shitload of fucking boxes and whatnot. And it was only about 2 months ago I actually found it, and I bought it in and I started using it. But then, looking at the condition of the disc that was still coming out and the amount of time it's taking to clean one disc, you put one disc in, you use the coarse pad, which is a 600 grit, that's for like a minute. Then you put in the next sandpaper, which is the 1200 grit, for another minute to take off some of the shit off the disc. Then you've got to use 2 pads, one for buffering and then one for polishing. You can use a minute, 2 minutes, or 10 seconds. I've been using depending on how much the disc was taken off from the sandpaper, I'd use 1 minute on buffering and then 20 seconds and then another 10 seconds, because you don't have 30 seconds, you have 2 minutes, 1 minute, 20 seconds and 10 seconds. I'd hit it for 20 seconds, and as soon as it stopped, I'd hit 10 seconds, and that's on the actual polishing. And they were coming out okay, but I'm thinking it's taking too fucking long just to do one dish. You're talking in 5 minutes. And I started watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and people saying get the Echo Pro, it's really good, it cuts down all the scratches and all this shit, it's a really good machine. And I was seeing more Echo Pro disc repair machines than the HYBIRD. But when I was looking on Amazon, I saw the I was going to get the Echo Pro, but the guy said to me, look, the HYBIRD is a newer machine than the Echo Pro. There's more downs to the Echo Pro than there is with the HYBIRD. There's more ups. And the HYBIRD doesn't cost as much to clean a disc than the Echo Pro would. The time limit on each disc is around about the same. But although you get a 500-minute chip on here, that chip is programmed to give you error messages. If the water's running out, it'll say CW, that means change water. Or AW, add water. Compound, yeah, so like AC, add compound. Yeah, the pads are running low. It's a CP, change pads. You might get an error if you're messing around the screw a lot inside, and it's not shutting the door. It's say like E1 or E2, and that means like the door's not shutting. Or I had a error on it earlier today, and I thought I've not seen that error, so I had to Google it, and it was saying like there's too much pressure being put down on the disc. So I had to use the screwdriver and unscrew the screw a little bit, so it's not putting too much pressure on. And then like there is other like errors on there as well. Like you get these like little pink tubes which you have to put on inside the machine, and they come up with an error saying that they need to be changed as well. Now I don't know if that's on the Echo Pro, but on this one it does. But the guy was saying you know, the HYBIRD is a newer machine than the Echo Pro, and the Echo Pro can have more issues with it than the HYBIRD, and the Echo Pro has more mechanics in it than this one does, and the parts for the Echo Pro is more expensive apparently than the parts for this one. But the parts in here are fucking expensive. Like just the actual water pipe and the compound pipe is like £20 each, just for a bit of fucking plastic tubing. I don't know how much it is for like the Echo Pro, because I've not got the Echo Pro. I've been looking at them, but you know, I'm not going to get one because like the Echo Pro is like over £1,000. I think the cheapest one might be about £1,000, I think, and that'd be like a grade C as well. So you know, I was kind of lucky really to be on Amazon at the right time, because these machines on their website is $895 for grade C, while on Amazon they're doing the same grade with this machine for $750. So I actually saved £150, but I've already spent £150 on fucking like buying another consumer pack and more fucking fiberglass. But one day, you know, that is going to pay for itself. Like everyone say, we buy machines because it will pay for itself in the long run. It will start off slow, but once you get all your discs sorted out and cleaned and nice and look really, you know, kind of like presentable, and you want to start selling a few which has got a higher value, then sell it. You're not making your money. All you're doing is making your money back on the machine and all the stuff that you pay for it, you know, like the consumer packs and the fibre cloths and spray bottles and anti-static spray and all that shit, you know. Right, I'm gonna go. So like fucking neck is hurting now. It's gone midnight. I've spoken too much again tonight. So yeah, I will. Well, I won't be on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna be doing some shopping, so I need to do some shopping. I think I've got a couple of deliveries turning up tomorrow, but they ain't nothing really important. I don't even think I've got anything on Amazon coming tomorrow. I think all my Amazon deliveries turned up. Yeah. Got nothing on Amazon. All I've got is some stuff coming through Vintage, some more game stuff. I did pay on Vintage. What was it? I bought some games off Vintage. What was they? I can't remember what they were. Right, I've got video game disc bundle, which I paid £10 for. That's got just disc on its own, but there's like some Wii Mario Karts, and I think I've got the cases for those, and they go for about £8 each once they're cleaned up and in the case. And there's like some other games with it, like there's 2, 4, 5, 10, about 13 discs there, and 2 of them are like Wii Mario Kart, which I think you get about £8 in trading value if they're in the plastic casing. If they were in the paper casing, the cardboard casing, you only get £6 for them. But I think I've got 2 Wii cases in there. But I've also got in here somewhere, I'm not sure what box it's in, but I do have 2 Mario Karts in here somewhere. So it's always worth picking up Mario Karts and Mario, you know, all the different types of Mario games is worth picking up. So I picked that up for $9.99, but then there's like the $2.29 postage. So you're talking about in total 10. Well, you got to pay the buyer's protection as well, which is £1.10. So the cost was £11.09p, but then the postage was $2.29. So you're talking about £13 on that one. The other one I picked up was some other Nintendo games, and that had 2 copies of Wii Sport. Now they go for about £6 to £8 if you got them in the box, which I think I've got a couple of spare boxes. That's why I buy boxes, just, you know, empty boxes on eBay, because like if it's got the insert cover and you're lucky enough to get the manual with it, you know, you can always get the disc cheap anyway, because like people will sell the disc cheaper because they ain't got the case for it. So I do buy, you know, games by themselves without the manual and the case, because I'm pretty sure I can pick them up at a later date. You know, I've probably got about 400, no, I'd say about 400 cases without no games in. And, you know, a lot of them have got manuals in, but there's a portion of them which don't have manuals in. So, like, I'll buy the cases and the manuals, and then I'll try to get the games which might fit the case and the manual. So I was trying to put a bid on for 70 games today, actually. No, one of the games is actually empty cases, like, you know, the cases with the inserts, and some had the manuals in. And I was willing to go up to like £25, because I think like 70 cases would have been worth that, just the case itself, you know, kind of thing. But I don't know what happened, but as I went to put my bid in, the time jumped from like 5 seconds to 1 second. Within 1 second, and someone else got the fucking the listing. They actually won it. I thought, oh fuck it, but I wasn't too happy. You know, it wasn't that I wasn't happy. I thought, well, you know, it don't even matter. You know, you're going to get more like that, and you know, I spent out too many fucking cash on bits and pieces at the moment. So, you know, I'm glad I didn't really win it, to be honest with you. But this one here is like £15. Well, £15.73 with buyer protection. Then you got the $2.29. So you're talking about £17 on 7 games. But then you got 2 copies of Wii Shape, your shape. You got Underground Run game now, and they're all boxed. I don't know if they got manuals with it. You got a copy of Family Trained, which looks like it probably might add the game because it's got the box there. But then you got 3 different Guitar Heroes. You got Guitar Hero, then you got DJ Hero, and then you got another hero game which I can't really read because it's not clear enough. You got the Beatles game, which is just like a sing-along kind of thing. Then you got this other game, which looks like a Mario game. Then you got 2 Wii Sports. Now, the 2 Wii Sports are worth about £8 each trading if you can get the boxes or the cardboard case for it. So I've got those coming. And then the only other one which I got was a bundle of 70 Xbox games, like 70, just the games on their own, various ones. I did look to see how many like shitty football ones were there, but it didn't seem to have that many there. I couldn't really make much sense of the images because the images were too small. But you got like Far Cry, you got Lenore, you got Call of Duty, shitty Connect Adventures, Destiny, Countdown 3. I've actually got 1 and 2 of that. I haven't got Countdown 3, so that'll go in my collection. And then you got some other games which I can't really tell what they are because the images are too fucking small. Now, 70 games, I actually paid the full price on that one because you can actually like put in an offer, which I've done with 2, and they've not got back to me after a week. But this is a 70 bundle Xbox games, disc only, and I'm pretty sure a lot of those will probably have scratches on anyway. But I paid £32.19 on that, plus the £2.49, so you're talking about, say, about £35 on 70 games. And you never know, it could be 1 or 2 games there which might be worth 10, 20, £30, you don't know. So yeah, I'm going to go to bed now. So if you're there, cheers watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. I'll let you know the outcome of me getting the Christian pack. It should be a Tuesday. I paid the full whack DVD, so I send it out tomorrow. It should be a Tuesday. I don't think there's any bank holiday this week, is there? Plus, I've got I know I've definitely got 2 coming from Vintage. The other one what I bought hasn't even packed it up and sent it out yet. And that's the 70 bundle thing. So I'm going to leave a message. I might just ask them to send it out as soon as I can. So on the Vintage, which are a bit fucking annoying, I did actually buy some stuff a while back, and one of them was like a Nintendo DS console with some games, and I paid for it, and then like, I waited a week and I still hadn't heard anything. I sent them a message, and all of a sudden I get a message back saying sorry, sold or no longer available. And that had been with some of the games as well, because I ordered from Vintage. So Vintage is a bit of a pig sometimes with people not sending stuff out and refunding you. So I tend to try to keep an eye out on Vintage to see if there's any like job lots of games as well. If they're going cheap, then I'll get them. But they've got to be at a cheap price and like, you know, at least 20 or more games on it for like less than 10 quid. But anyway, I'm off and I'll catch you all later. So cheers. Don't hit that like, share, subscribe, not already done so, please. And I'll catch you all later. Bye.